on the latest episode of Business Conversations Uncensored.
Roundtable is ready. We have an interesting conversation today. The last two episodes, we began talking about execution and productivity, and we mentioned quite a number of things that relate to that. Being clear about what is priority and the small things that build up to make sure that the priority becomes a reality. And we want to pick up with that conversation and take it a notch higher. So gentlemen, welcome. The roundtable is ready. I want us to talk about the next step. So here I am. I'm clear about what's priority. I'm clear about what I need to do every day to build up to this priority. What else do I need to ensure I don't derail? I don't go off the rails. What are some things we can talk about where this area is concerned? Because it's not complete yet. Yeah.
The next thing is to track the progress. You need to know how you are progressing. You've known the most important things. Yeah. You've known what you're supposed to do about it. Now you need to keep on tracking the progress.
Why is tracking important?
Tracking will keep you on course, because most of the time we agree on something, it's going to be done, and we deviate. And we know that very well in our hearts.
Something more important comes, eh?
Something more urgent comes. And you feel like this is more important than what I was supposed to do. Now, you need to be on track. If you're not on track, you'll not be able to achieve the results that you want.
Sometimes when we talk about tracking, sometimes there's that notion that kwani uamini nitafanya hii job, kwani you don't trust me.
That's very
yeah, kwani you're thinking I'm incompetent. Yeah. It's almost like kwani you have to keep checking on me. Yeah.
I actually had a partner way back when it was one of my first businesses, and it was a challenge. So they kept saying, you have trust issues.
Well, they kept telling you?
Yeah, they kept telling me, you have trust issues. Or do I always have to tell you? But I told you last week what I'm doing. Do I still have to tell you this week? Then I tell you tomorrow. Then I tell you again. Then you want me to write it down. Yeah. It was a hard one, yeah? And I was just trying to tell them, we are like think of it like a kiosk. Yeah. People come at the counter, you take maziwa, you give, you take, you give, you take salt, you give. At the end of the day, we have to take stock.
Yes.
Because we don't know what to replenish.
Yes. Yeah.
Unless we say, we had 15 packets of milk, now we have 3. Okay, then it's urgent, we need to make sure by tomorrow morning we've restocked.
Yes.
Otherwise, if we don't do that, then people will come and they will blame us that the experience has been compromised. Yeah. Because they'll say, give me 2 packets of milk. You go and find Allah, Fina. Yeah.
Even an example of an education system, I'm sure a teacher would need to track progress if they're taking students through a curriculum, or there's a beginning and an end point when they open maybe a term or a semester. Yeah. They have to keep track that they are covering the objectives, because at the end of that period there will be some type of assessment, and you want to make sure you are assessing students who actually covered. Same concept can be applied in business as well.
Okay. But then how do you do it in business? Because like the example you're giving of a classroom, every student knows at the end of this we have a test. Yes. So it's not like in business you can do a test. So how do you engage the same principle in a business setting?
In the business, I think you need to define what is the score. How will we know we have scored, or that we have won, or we've achieved? Because in our previous conversations we talked about defining those important things. So we are now working towards how will we know when we've achieved those? Is when we take the steps. We had talked about some steps you'll take progressively. But then these are the ones now that you're monitoring. Are we taking the steps we identified that are important steps towards our overall goal? And those are the ones that you constantly have to ensure you're sticking to those priorities, because there'll always be a lot of things derailing you in the course of a normal working day.
I like what you're saying, because many times we look at the big picture. We look at the big picture. And in looking at the big picture, you're so focused on it, that's all you see. But if I hear you correctly, there are steps towards the big picture. So the big picture is here, but this month we've come this way. So we've scored our goal. Don't look at there and feel discouraged. We haven't attained that. What we set out to do this month is A, B, C, and D, and we've achieved it. Relax, we are okay. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And in the morning, if you don't have those very defined progressive steps towards the overall goal, you can come in the morning, report to work, switch on your computer if you use a computer, for instance, and find this flurry of emails, all of them demanding attention from you. And you suddenly find that other people's agenda have become your priority. Now the thing you had agreed you would do, you put it aside because now I have this important email from so and so that needs that I respond to it. But you see, if you are progressively sticking to the important things, you can relegate that to a later time and give your most important productive time to those important things that you had agreed upon. Yeah, I would think.
As a business person as well, you get caught up in the balance of immediate, midterm and future. So sometimes entrepreneurs look at the future, then they run out of money. So they say, I'll become this big thing, this big thing, this big thing. Then they realize, okay, bills are due. So they have to actually cut it down into immediate, midterm and future. Really knowing that today we are not eating today's money. That can as well be another frustration. I want to jump into the market, sell today and make everything good today. Pay all the bills from what I sold today. But they have to come to the understanding that today's money was made yesterday and tomorrow's money is being made today. So when you miss that, you ask of a day what it can't give you.
There's a concept called busy being busy.
Busy being busy?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever found yourself? Have you ever found yourself at the end of the day, you've been having a very busy day, but you can't show any result? Just been running helter-skelter everywhere.
Like a headless chicken.
Yes. What if that happens in a whole month? You will not be able to show any results anyway. So the essence of tracking is to keep people back on track so that our focus is on the most important things that are supposed to be done for us to achieve this goal. Remember, the blood of the business is the cash flow. Yes. Let's say, for example, our goals was to bring in customers. If we don't track that progress, we'll not be able to know how many customers came in, how much money we are able to make. We'll be just be there. And you find yourself, the business is dying and you don't know.
If you're in a sales position, for instance, like he's just saying, in a sales position, and maybe your responsibility is to grow the business by acquiring new customers, you have defined the important things you need to do to get that customer. That could be, maybe you need to run an event, maybe you need to make some phone calls or visit, and you've defined I need to visit potentially 5 or 10 potential customers this week. Because it's documented in something you can track, you can decide in the morning, I'll leave the office immediately and go and visit, at least do my today's 3 visits, and then I can come back to the office and do the rest of the admin things that we all have. And that's remaining focused on the important thing. Otherwise, you could stay in the office and feel you're busy, maybe writing a proposal the whole day, but that proposal wasn't what you had defined. It's just an administrative aspect that supports your most important activity.
I like that because sometimes I find a conflict. It's good you've used a marketing example because I've been part of an organization where the marketing department would do that year in, year out. And then at the end of the day, we would complain we don't have clients. And I kept wondering, why don't they go out? They're always writing proposals and nothing comes out of it. You know, because the mindset is, I've employed you for an 8 to 5. And because other people within the organizations are doing 8 to 5 and I see them in the office, even you, I need to see you in the office. And when I see you in the office, I translate that to being productive.
Watch the whole episode for free on Clean Money Media app.